G'day guys, hope you're doing well. It's Codey Orgill from cycletraveloverload.com. Today we're talking about the best gravel bikes under $1,000 in 2025 and beyond. I've made this video a few times now. This is probably the fourth version and iteration of this video. If you guys want to check out other videos, they are from past models. I have taken into consideration the hundreds and thousands of comments that you guys have left on those videos, suggesting other bikes that I haven't yet had a look at, or new models that have popped up in recent times. And I've gone through them all and evaluated them and put together a list of top 10 gravel bikes under $1,000. And I'm going to present it to you today. There's a few things that I like to go through, a bit of a criteria, if you will, to make sure that these bikes are up to standard, because that is one of the things with these kind of bikes is once you go under that budget range, and once you go below $1,000, the quality really does hinder, and you really got to be cautious with the kind of bikes that you consider. Some bikes are $400. There's a Mongoose model, for example, that you can get from like Walmart in America that's really cheap. However, that means cheap componentry and really poor quality build. And that's not ideal, especially if you want to be using these bikes as an all-rounder kind of bike that you're going to take on adventures along with commuting, and it's going to be your everyday rider. It's just something that I just don't feel comfortable recommending, because it's not a bike that's up to par and up to quality for real world conditions. And that's another thing with the current state of the bicycle industry and market, with tariffs amongst other things in the market in general. Prices have skyrocketed, so you've seen bikes that have gone from $800 all the way up to like $1,200 to $1,300. This is something that makes it a bit harder to find a really decent value-driven budget gravel bike. And there are a few ways around this, which I do include some of the bikes that are in this category, is looking for used models in 2022 to 2023, 2024 models that are used that you can pick up on platforms like Pro's Closet or Jensen USA. These kind of online retailers, they do sell discontinued, still in stock, old stock models that you can pick up. So that's just worth considering as well. And some of the bikes I do mention are a couple of those. So depending on availability, these bikes might not be sticking around for too much longer. However, a majority of the bikes are available. However, depending on where you live is also another thing to consider.
Also, if you guys are just getting into bikepacking and you want an exclusive bike comparison tool that helps you compare bikes that you're looking at to really get a better understanding which bike is going to be best for you and your adventures, along with a bike travel checklist for getting ready for those adventures, and being included in our weekly Wheels of Discovery newsletter, you can grab all of this for free, the Bikepacker Starter Kit, with the first link down below in the description. Send me your name and email and I'll send that through to you right away.
But what I'll do is I'll link below an old video where I talk about the criteria. It's still the same criteria that I go through when I select these bikes, making sure that they're generally a good all-rounder bike that is also good for adventure cycling, as that is a big proponent of this channel. So that video will be linked down below. You can watch, the first 4 or 5 minutes of that and then come back to this one. Or we can just get straight into this video. I'm going to start from gravel bike number 10 and we'll go all the way to number 1. So make sure you stick around for the number 1 gravel bike under $1,000. Bike number 10 is the Kona Rover Aluminium 650B bike. You're able to pick this one up for under $700 with a special on at the moment at Jensen USA. And if you shop around, I'm sure you could find this bike as well. It is a discontinued model that I was talking about. It's still possible to pick this one up for under $1,000. It's an entry-level gravel performer. It represented Kona's exciting new direction in gravel bikes a few years back. This is the 2023 model, offering solid performance at a reasonable price at just under that $1,000 mark. It's perfect for riders new to gravel cycling who want a reliable aluminium construction with room to grow, featuring the 6061 butted aluminium frame paired with Project 2 aluminium disc forks. And it is a solid foundation for gravel exploration with quality frame construction and reliable components. I personally own the Kona Sutra LTD, which is their gravel / more of a touring bike option that is a much more solid option compared to this. The Rover is more of a light gravel adventure option compared
to the Sutra. However, I really do rate the quality of the Sutra and Kona bikes in general. It's perfect for beginning gravel riders who want a dependable bike that won't break the bank while learning how to ride and go on adventures. And the strong frame provides good platform for component upgrades as riding skills and preferences develop. So it's a bike that grows as you grow. Weighing in at just under 12 kilograms, it's a little lighter than the Sutra. It puts it at a reasonable range for aluminium gravel bikes at this price point particularly. You do get very basic component level with a 2x8 drivetrain that's Shimano Claris, and you get the 34x50 tooth crank set matched with the 1132 tooth cassette in the rear. And that does equate to quite a very subpar, very average gear inch range with over a 26-inch climbing gear and 120-inch downhill gear for top speed. So that's pretty decent. It's just the climbing gear on this one that's pretty average. You do get fairly decent tires on this with 47C 650Bs. Again, the Sutra has much better clearance at 2.3 inches. When it comes to geometry, the chainstay length at about 435 millimeters is fairly balanced, providing agility, but also some stability in there as well. So it's a good medium. With a stack reach ratio of 1.52, it's fairly upright, offering comfort for those longer days and longer gravel adventures. Number 9 is the Kona D. I've mentioned this bike a few times on this channel. Coming in at just under $650, it's a perfect budget-friendly gravel commuter option. Again, another Kona model. Having the Kona name is a major reason why a couple of these bikes made the list. This is a perfect gateway to flat bar gravel grinding, a budget-friendly commuter that also doubles as an entry-level gravel bike with surprisingly decent off-road capabilities. It's perfect for urban commuters and new cyclists wanting a versatile bike that also handles daily transportation and weekend expeditions and adventures. Built with the same alloy butted frame setup as the Rove, this is a much more upright, relaxed position bike that prioritizes comfort for those urban environments while remaining capable off-road, and also it is a flat bar option, so it's going to be a bit of a different ride feel. Again, it does include entry-level componentry. You do get some better mounting options with top tube mounting on this bike, along with a kickstand, which does come in handy when you are adventure cycling, I must say. Also the option for rack and fender mounts as well. But it's just the perfect bike for daily commuting, grocery runs, bike path cruising and light trail riding, and some urban adventures. And as I say, it has Kona's reputation for durability and reliability at an accessible price point. This is probably the most budget-friendly option in this list. Number 8 is the Marinnicarasio. This bike has quite a few options to choose from, starting from $899. I have ridden and owned the Marinnicarasio Plus, which is about a $1,100 bike right now. But this bike is a steel gravel classic with a beyond road geometry. It's versatile steel construction with distinct geometry that merges endurance road handling with off-pavement stability, making it perfect for those longer adventures. The very base model is a decent entry-level gravel bike option. This is one of the most recommended steel gravel bikes in this list. But before you do consider this one, I'd wait around for number 2, because that's also another steel bike option that I really dig at the moment. Again, this bike was decent. I'm not too crazy about it. I rode it myself, comparing it to some higher standard bikes that I owned at the time. So that did make a bit of a biased sort of decision there. However, if you're looking to just get into gravel grinding, it's a decent bike to choose. You got the confidence of the 4130 chromoly steel frame and fork, which is a bomb-proof construction that can handle years of abuse while providing natural vibration dampening. And the microshift drivetrain, the 1x9 setup, is decent. I did have some issues with it here and there with having to adjust it and make sure that it was properly dialed in because of my own abuse to the bike, but it didn't quite hold up as well as I would have liked. And it is a little lighter than some steel frame bikes, not by much, by a couple of 100 grams at around 12.9 kilograms. And it's also quite upright with the 1.52 stack reach ratio. The chainstay is about a 420 for a medium size, which does make it a bit quicker in the rear, and the general shorter wheelbase, which makes it not the most ideal bike for adventure cycling, as it doesn't have that
that stability to hold the weight of all your gear as much as some other gravel bikes do. However, if you're planning some light bikepacking adventures, it has options for fender and rack eyelets, and the geometry is decently comfortable enough for those laden adventures. There's many people who have picked this up as a very popular entry-level gravel bike option, and they've taken them out on bikepacking adventures. So number 7 is the Marin DSX for just under $850 with a few other options that are a bit more higher end. It's a flat bar gravel bike with modern performance, a versatile flat bar gravel bike designed for mixed surface adventures, and it has bikepacking capabilities with full carbon fork, 11-speed drivetrain, and decent tyre clearance. It's a flat bar gravel bike that's designed for mixed surface adventures and long distance commuting with a familiar mountain bike handling feel. It has that more progressive flat bar gravel bike look and feel, blurring the line between mountain bike and gravel bike. But that 11-speed Tektro Gemini drivetrain with 1150 tooth cassette provides a wide gear range for varied terrain, and you get a tyre clearance for up to 700C by 50mm, along with hydraulic disc brakes and internal dropper post routing for easy upgrades and rough terrain capabilities. And it's a bike that's perfect for riders seeking a mountain bike style handling with gravel capabilities and the versatility for potential adventures. Number 6, it's something new, the Norco Search A Flat Bar Gen 3. This is something you guys mentioned in the comments, and I had to check it out, do research and really look into it, and I'm really surprised by this rig. It's a new school flat bar gravel evolution, a modern progressive geometry with suspension fork capabilities and a decent 50C tyre clearance. Featuring modern gravel geometry with lightweight aluminium frame that bridges the gap between traditional gravel and contemporary adventure riding. And it's perfect for riders who want gravel bike capabilities without drop bars, and ideal for those seeking confident handling on mixed terrain. Featuring a taller head tube, slacker head angle, and longer reach for stability on rough terrain and confident descending. It really has that progressive gravel geometry. The thing with this bike that concerns me a little bit is the quality of the drivetrain. Again, this is an issue with bikes under $1,000. This is the Shimano Q's 1x9, and they say it has a moderate wide range of gearing. However, I'm not excited by it really much at all. The thing I like about this bike though is that it has a carbon fork and it's suspension fork ready, and it's also universal derailleur hanger supported as well, so you can have the capability to upgrade your drivetrain technology if you really want to. And along with an adventure ready mounting system with full coverage fender, top tube bag and water bottle mounts for bikepacking and touring, it's really great for all of that. And it has other modern gravel performance upgrades like the new school geometry that delivers fast, lively, confident riding on most terrain with improved stability when you're carrying gear. The heart of this bike, the progressive geometry, the decent tyre clearance, the adventure mounts, and the way the bike's been designed in this way is something that's worth including in this list. And it's great for riders wanting serious gravel capabilities without drop bars, adventure cyclists, and those seeking a confidence-inspiring ride. Number 5 is the Cube New Lane 1, which starts at €799 or around $930. It's a well-designed, aesthetically pleasing, good value for money, European-designed flat bar commuter. The thing that caught my eye with this bike was its aesthetics, its sleek, sharp lines, and that really nice purple. Has a good look to it, and it comes in some other colors as well. But with German engineering, a full carbon fork, hydraulic disc brakes, and tubeless ready, it really stood out as a decent budget gravel bike option. Perfect for riders seeking a reliable, well-spec'd gravel bike from an established European brand without the premium price tag. Featuring a super light aluminium trekking sport frame with flat mount disc brakes and a full carbon fork with Cube's TS disc full carbon fork that has taper steerer and through axle capabilities, which reduces the weight and improves the ride quality over other aluminium bike alternatives. Again, limited with its drivetrain quality, very similar Q's Shimano setup to the Norco Search. However, a little bit cheaper, reason why it's a little bit above that bike.
the Cube. And it's great for commuting, weekend gravel adventures, light touring and mixed surface riding with that European build quality. Premium features like the carbon fork, hydraulic brakes and tubeless ready wheels that are typically found on more expensive bikes is really good value for a bike under $1,000. Again, the key limitations of this one is the single chainring with limited climbing options and the 9-speed cassette range and quality. But with Cube's decades of experience in European cycling market, it brings reliability and service support to the gravel category, and it's great for riders wanting a step up from entry-level bikes with proven German engineering and comprehensive feature set. Alright, the bikes are starting to get a bit better now. Number 4 is the Poseidon Redwood. From just under $880, it's a gravel bike with the widest tire clearance of gravel bikes under $1,000, an aluminium adventure machine with massive tire clearance built for epic gravel adventures with mountain bike capabilities. Tire clearance for up to 2.8 inches, which is insane for a bike in this category. Reason why it's one of the bikes higher up in the list. And decent gearing at just under 22 inches of climbing gear, as well as it being an adventure focused bike. It's really great for bikepacking expeditions. It's a bike that's made the list year in, year out, and somewhere close to the top. Featuring also the Poseidon Adventure bars with 24 degrees flare. It's always nice to have flared drop bars so you can really stretch out your arms and relax your back and shoulders on those longer adventures and have more control when tackling technical terrain. Along with multiple fork mounting options for all your bikepacking gear and adventure accessories, and it also comes with the proven Poseidon X geometry as well. Serious gravel consumption with stable handling. Again, the weight isn't ideal with this one, but what can you say for a bike under $1,000? It is heavier than, and the aluminium can feel harsh on those long pavement sections. But it's perfect for those looking for epic adventure capabilities without breaking the bank, and it's ideal for riders seeking maximum tire clearance and bikepacking performance in a sub $900 category. Number 3, Marin Mirwoods comes in at just under $630. Yes, you heard that right. That is one of the cheapest bikes in this list, and it's number 3 on the list because it's a budget touring gravel bike that is also the best bike in this list for climbing, with a 20.7 climbing gear in inches, of course, which makes it excellent for climbing, steel construction, and it's a practical urban setup. It's not your traditional gravel bike. However, it is a nice hybrid option that can take you on adventures. A classic steel commuter with surprising off-road capabilities. It's built for those urban adventures as well as some light trail exploration. Featuring the Series 1 butted 4130 chromoly steel frame and fork, it is a bomb-proof construction option providing comfort and durability for mixed surface adventures, although it is on the heavier side at about 28 pounds. It does feature, however, the Microshift Advent X 10-speed setup, which is a wide-range 1151 tooth cassette, providing excellent low gear capabilities for those steep climbs. You also get hydraulic brakes as well, and the option to also run a max of 2.2-inch tires, which is really decent. Having in mind though, this bike is prioritizing comfort over speed, and it's not an ideal option for those aggressive gravel riders. If you are looking for something that ticks all those boxes, you'll have to stick around for number 1. However, this is the most accessible steel bike on the market, perfect for riders wanting one bike for urban commuting and the same bike for weekend gravel exploration. Number 2 is the Surly Preamble from $899. This is one of those bikes that you might have to dig around to find for under $1,000. However, having that said, it is a cost-effective, adaptable and reliable gravel bike that's a great commuter as well as a great light touring bike as well. Featuring the premium Surly steel construction with dual bar capabilities, it features that legendary Surly durability. They say this is Surly's gateway drug to steel. Entry-level steel bike at around that $900 mark if you can shop around and find it for a good deal. However, it doesn't cut any corners on quality, and it's designed as a more refined straggler alternative. Perfect for newcomers to gravel cycling who want serious steel construction without a serious price tag. The frame itself is designed for both flat bars and also the drop bar option, which is a few $100s extra. And the vertical dropout design makes it easy for maintenance as well, with sizes from extra small to extra large and wheel sizes from 650B for those smaller frames to 700C for larger frames. It also features that Microshift Echo Light 1x8 drivetrain, which is quite a unique option that you don't see very often in gravel bikes. However, some of the things to consider is a bit heavier than some alloy options. However, you do get that genuine steel construction compared to those aluminium alternatives. It does have basic component specs, limited climbing gear, and quick release axles instead of through axles as well. It's a perfect entry point to steel bikes that will last decades with proper maintenance. Ideal for those new gravel riders wanting quality steel construction and maximum versatility at an accessible price. If you want to build your own gravel bike, you can pick up the frame set for around $550. Okay, bike number 1 on the list of the best bikes under $1,000 is the Poseidon X Gen 3 from $999. It's a performance-focused gravel bike with rider-driven upgrades. It's lightweight, adventure-ready design with full carbon fork through axle stability and upgraded components offers exceptional value. And it's the best overall performance package in this list with a climbing gear of 21.5 inches, which is great for climbing uphill, a full carbon fork setup, through axles, tubeless ready, and it's lightweight at 22.5 pounds. It's a bike that features quite a lot of upgrades for a bike under $1,000 that really is punching well above its weight and class. It's built from a double-butted hydroformed aluminium frame, however it does have that full carbon fork. The compressionless housing delivers crisp shifting and confident braking performance throughout the drivetrain as well. It's one of those faster focused gravel bike options with 700C by 40mm tires, and you get the option as well for up to 1.9 inch tires. It does have significant evolution from the original X models in the Poseidon lineup, bridging the gap between budget friendly and performance orientated with impressive capabilities for daily commuting to weekend adventures. And it's a bike that focuses more on fast-paced gravel adventures, and it does have some limitations with mounting and that kind of thing for bikepacking adventures. However, it's still possible on this thing. And it just looks really nice. It comes in some really nice colors as well.